Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Sunday, August 5th, 10:07 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. You're looking at Fissure 8, and it is way low. Let's go back. There is Fissure 8, and it is way low. Let's go back. Pause it. So this fissure has been brimming and bubbling with lava for weeks, and this is a definite downtick in activity. Yes, there's quiescence in Fissure 8, and you can see the actual lava here as we continue the video from this morning's update is crusted over. It has dropped down several meters, and it is cooling. There is still overflow here that goes back under and reemerges, but this is the lace plume at the ocean entry is the same, and it's still 500 feet from Isaac Hale boat ramp there in Pohoiki. And Fissure 8 has calmed down. And you can see here the lava extending to the ocean. But prior to that, towards Fissure 8, it is cool and crusted over. So now there's a lava tube feeding this towards the ocean. And you can see here it emanating from the lava tube here. And you can see these huge cooled rafts. Now this is a.a. lava here, which is very sharp and dangerous. But we're about to look at some pohoihoi, rope lava. This pohoihoi lava here is pillow lava because it looks like pillows. You'll see it pillow up here and cool. And this is what's happening in the channel now, overflows. So very dangerous pohoihoi lava is causing pillows to overflow the channel. And the lace plume continues. So by all means, this is not safe and activity could increase at any moment. But this is the first time in months that Fissure 8 has calmed down, which is good news for those. And there it is again. Fissure 8 officially calming down. There it is. And that's a boom. It's good news for the South Island. Bad news. Extensive damage after tornado rips through Webster and Dudley, Massachusetts. The National Weather Service office in Boston confirmed 2 tornadoes across Windham County, Connecticut into southern Worcester County, Massachusetts, which touched down Saturday, August 4th. The tornadoes occurred from the same parent thunderstorm cell. One tornado caused extensive damage, injured 1 person, and displaced up to 50. That's a rare event up there in New England. Let's talk about events that used to be rare that are common. Sunday storm brings large hail. Heads up, South Dakota. Plankington, South Dakota, Sunday morning storms brought large hail southeast of Kelloland. They must make Kellogg's there. Tennis ball size hail was reported in Plankington. In Sioux Falls, hails range from nickel to $half size. Storms also hit northwest Iowa, which is not looking good for the corn and soybeans, with up to 40% losses just from hail this year. Now, trees and power lines were down in Haywarden, Sheldon, and Sioux Center. Some roads were also flooded in the Sheldon area. That's not the only hail. Hail hit the Bear Trap Summer Festival, and they got pounded for just about a few minutes. There's hundreds of people out here getting pummeled by hail. Now, luckily, this ended, and they all got back to smoking their pot and taking names, which is good news for those people at the Bear Trap Summer Festival in Wyoming. Heads up. Happy summer. That looks like our festivals. They're either rained out or they explode. Now, Hurricane Hector is headed towards Hawaii, where a volcano is erupting, barely. And we just showed you. And the fear-mongering must end. CNN is central nuisance nonsense. Tropical storm forced wind speed probabilities. Now, here's the preliminary coming out moments ago for the next 5 days. You can clearly see here the Big Island has almost no chance of even tropical storm winds. Just the tip here, this brown tip, 50% chance that tropical storm winds will even hit this area. So, let's look at the model, and what we should be worried about is Hurricane Hector becoming Typhoon Hotashaya and destroying Japan on August 18th. And it really looks like it's about to do that. So my prediction is that this is going to slam into the island of Japan somewhere August 18th to the 20th. This is weeks out, and I do not make predictions like this, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here, as I have a good feeling about this. Almost no effects north of Hilo here, whatever this inlet is called. I didn't get the name. There will be tropical storm winds here coming through sometime Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. But you can see the cone of depression of tropical force winds here misses everything except the Lay's plume here in the ocean entry, which will probably cool it off because you just saw how much reduction there was in output. So this really isn't a big threat to the Big Island, but if we move it over here to the 14th, it is going to line up. And if you look at the way the winds are forecast here, we'll just come out a little bit here onto Tuesday. This is absolutely, Hector is going to be driven directly into the southern island of Japan here. The only other option is for it to hook and just hover around the coast. So we're going to be watching this closely as it develops, but it is headed towards Japan, which has the #1 risk of this storm, not Hawaii, and not for weeks. Now let's talk about the 1999-2001 eruption sequence in the Gakkel Ridge. Do you know where that is? You do now, because I'm going to leave you links to it. Here's Svalbard. Here are some northern islands. Greenland's off here, and the Gakkel Ridge is north. Now, if you watch David Dubine's update, he's talking about a temperature anomaly in the ocean here by this portion of the ridge. And I believe there's a massive underwater volcano erupting here off Svalbard. And I'll show you, if we can just quick come over to Null School here. And you bear with me. We're going to take you exactly where David Dubine was earlier today. Now, I checked this because I don't always believe the hype. So, if we come over to North America and we come over here to the area in question, these are the islands. Now, I'm going to give you a little lesson on Null School. Click on Earth. And what we're looking for is ocean, sea surface temperatures. And we'll just give that a minute to boot up. And there it is. And you can see these two temperature anomalies here and here. And you can also see a blacked out region of the Arctic where they don't give us any information. Now, the Gakkel Ridge in question is up here in the blacked out region. But this heat anomaly and this one as well are underwater volcanoes currently erupting. If we just back to that article, 82 dead, hundreds injured after powerful earthquake hits popular Indonesian tourist island. Magnitude 6.9 earthquake, thanks to the downgrade surface of the USGS, hit Lombak Island, Indonesia, just moments after we were predicting a drought of that magnitude earthquake. Now, the earthquake that I'm predicting to occur in the next few months is going to be greater than 8.0. The only earthquakes I'm predicting are very catastrophic, and this is not it. This is just a precursor to a volcanic event that may be inevitable. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get over here to that article. No. So let's just come back here to history, and I'll show you what I was talking about. And it's not even here. Nope, it's gone. Sorry, kids. We'll talk about it in another episode. But 82 dead in Lombak, and there is damage in Bali. This is the Galleria Mall parking lot. Now, this is Denespar. This is on the neighboring island. This is not on Lombak. This is on Bali. And you can see all the scooters covered in dust here because there was obviously buildings collapsed. So come over here and check out the damage in Bali. Bali, however you'd like to say it. And we'll go with a little seismic update. Now, here is the cacophony of seismic events. And if we just come in here, you can see that this is a very good normal seismic array. However, there are two arrays, and they're forming in linear fashion. Now, this is not typical of aftershocks and foreshocks of a seismic event moving along a fault. This is typical of lava moving into a region where there's motion in these rifts. And we're going to talk about this island, this volcano here, because the caldera on this island has the potential to erupt at VEI 7, and this is not good news for the future of humanity. If you're picking up what we're putting down, this could be the accelerator which rapidly causes global unrest, and you need to be prepared. If this goes off tomorrow, there is no more time. I'm not just talking VEI 5. I'm talking in a major way. The last time this erupted, back in 1287, it was not good news, kids. In fact, we only recently knew about this eruption, only recently. But before we get to the science of the eruption, I'm going to show you the histogram over at Merapi. Just a little bit of dab wax. It's okay. The kids are in bed. Now, the histogram here over at Merapi is showing a linear trend that's very scary. The uptick here, this is also a VEI 5 potential eruptor. And this is just the seismic activity through today. So that's a heads up there. Now let's talk about the massive underwater volcanic eruptions in Greenland we just talked about. Here is the historical evidence. 2008, they picked up that there were volcanoes erupting up in that fissure north of Svalbard. And the 1999 earthquake swarm at the Gackle Ridge. Did it open a volcanic conduit on the mid-ocean ridge? Yes. And we can clearly see underwater volcanoes. And the uptick is because of the cosmic ray flux. Now here is a detailed teleseismic data analysis from 2009 to get you familiar with what's happening in that Arctic region. And this whole time, the powers that be have known that the underwater portions of the Arctic have been warming due to massive amounts of volcanic activity up there. Yet they continue to blame it on you, anthropogenic global warming and carbon dioxide, so they can tax your ass. Not so they can give you the facts. Now, the facts were available almost a decade ago that the Arctic should be reducing ice volume because of underwater volcanoes, but they didn't tell you. The mainstream did not keep up. Oh, they kept up the ruse. They didn't keep up the facts. Now, let's talk about Lombak Island. You're looking at Rinjani. Now, Rinjani is the caldera on Lombak. This is the eruption that happened in 1287. Look at the size of it. Now, this is erupted at VEI 2 or 3 here in this little stratocone. Just a precursor to things that come. This baby's going to blow again in a big way. VEI 2 is a very standard outgassing of this. And now back in 1994, in that stratocone we looked at, there was a VEI 3 confirmed. But if we go back to 1257, we can see the VEI 7 that formed that caldera. In fact, this is now known just recently as the largest volcanic eruption to cause the most catastrophic climate change on planet Earth in all of known history. And you've never heard of it. That's how crazy mainstream science is this today. There is no facts. It's all fiction. And we're all burning up, and it's your fault, kids. Now, here are the facts about Mount Rinjani, even though it's coming from Wikipedia. Bone up on it. This could be the game changer, and you should be familiar with it so you can tell everyone when the grid goes down why the sky is dark. Well, back in 1287, powerful eruption VEI 7, the largest ever in history, happened in Indonesia, instantly killing tens of millions, which it will as well this time. So if you see an 800-foot wall of water coming towards you and you live in Indonesia, don't say what's happening, because you were warned. Now, from the Proceedings of the Natural Academy of Sciences comes the paper. And the breakthrough only came in 2013. That's when we figured out how big of an eruption happened at this volcano. And it's called, in the historical record, Samalas. And that's why everyone's confused, because they change names and they obfuscate the truth of your historical past. It's true. Just 800 years ago, the planet rapidly cooled because of a single volcano, which is now responsible for intense seismic activity in the Indonesia region. We're talking about the largest volcanic eruption of the past 7,000 years. Are you ready? Long-lasting daylight fireball over western Siberia. Impact reported. Heads up. A bright daylight fireball was recorded over western Siberia. The same place the trees were blown down in 1907, and a similar event happened just a few years back. When will a large object hit the ocean and create a massive tsunami? Will it be today? Maybe. Hundreds record a long-lasting bright fireball over Australia. Meteorites are likely near Canberra. Boom! Is your mind exploding with information? This is all from today. I'm not making it up. I'm also not cherry picking. So if you're part of the group of trolls that just rolled into town at the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, this is what's happening in the Arctic in the middle of summer. Massive snow falling on the Greenland ice sheet. Which is why, for the past 7 weeks, it's been above multi-decadal averages. And we're seeing record ice building on the Greenland continent. Those are the facts. I didn't make them up. I have nothing to do with the Danish Meteorological Institute. And neither does the Northern Passage, which is barely open and will only be open just for 4 weeks until it closes again. Many of the passages up in Canada are not open, and they never will be because of the epic 50-foot thick ice still in these regions. In Svalbard, where glacial inception, geologically speaking, begins. Right here, where the pink is. And I guarantee in 3 years, we're going to have a glacier forming here that does not go away in just 3 years. Because we already have 20 foot of ice in the central Arctic region that hasn't been there for decades. And the media is not telling you about that. No ships can ever get through the Arctic Circle for thousands of miles because of the danger and the 20-foot thick ice here in mid-August. Let's talk about the temperature. It has only this week gone above average in the Arctic. This is the coldest summer ever since 1958. Do you hear the crickets? Me too. Do you know that in 1977 it snowed in Miami? The only other historical information has to go back 300 more years. The native Indians talked about the white rain in the Everglades. But in 1977, it snowed in Miami. You want to know why? Come check out the wiki. But I'm going to tell you because you're a lazy group. It's the sun. Now here we are in cycle 24, down at the bottom. I predicted snow in Florida, all-time records this year. And I'm going to predict snow in Miami, but not this winter, next winter. More snow in Miami than has ever been seen because there was only a flake seen in 77. But the white rains came to the Everglades in the Maunder Minimum. And if we just go back to 1977, you can see this blue dot. That is when the snowstorm hit, which is exactly where we are going. And it happened right after a solar max, and the next cycle was very low. And then that snow occurred in Miami. And we just came off a solar max, and this cycle is very low. And there's going to be snow in Miami. And it's going to be regular after 2030. Regular snow in Florida every winter in a decade. And I'm not going out on a limb. I'm using science. Resistance is fertile. Times are changing. I made a new graph. It's going to blow your mind. If you're still one of the trolls that believe in global warming, I can't implore you enough to first shut the up because you sound stupid. And just take a moment to look at my GISP2 temperature proxy data. Now, this is going back 8,000 years. Even more. And you can see, since the Minoan War, based on the Milankovitch hypothesis, we are dropping off a cliff. And then after this moment, we continue to go a little quicker down. Purple's the prediction. You're here right at the cusp. In just a few years, we'll be down here. The world will be different. The population will be reduced by over half. And I can't even imagine the lies that are going to be perpetrated by the mass media. There is no time. Plant a seed. Find community. You don't have time to change people's minds that don't want to believe you. The time is now to rally the troops. Pack the coffers. Dig the holes. Fill the bunkers. Vet the neighbors. Start now. Be safe. We love you. And that's a boom.